Today we're going to dive into the long answer to the question, what is helium?
The Helium Show.
Going to helium.com is the best place to start in getting to know what helium is. Short answer, helium is creating a network for IoT devices to connect to the internet in currently the most cost-effective and efficient way possible. That means that if you have a key tracker on your keys, or you could imagine someone with a pacemaker, imagine all the different devices that could connect to the internet that right now are maybe using Bluetooth or other technologies that have a lot of limitations. Helium can allow connection to the internet at a fraction of the cost of cell companies. So the best thing to do, as with pretty much any crypto, when you're starting to look at it and see how you want to invest in it, if you want to invest in it, what you want to do, is probably to read the white paper. The white paper can be found on the Helium website down here at the bottom in the bottom left corner. Once you open that up, you can read all about it. And here it really dives in deep into the long answer of what helium is. But again, long story short, it is a decentralized wireless network focused on the Internet of Things. And you can see here the incredible possible growth that they are looking at. So let's dive in real quick to what you can do with helium. So obviously mine, stake, or use. So we're going to take a brief look at all of those. And right now, let's look at the network coverage if you wanted to mine helium, which is what I do. So let's look at explorer.helium. Wow, just broke over 700,000 hotspots online around the world. Look at this coverage. It's pretty incredible. It kind of reminds you of Verizon or AT&T maybe back in like 2005 or something. But it is really starting to fill out. And so you can imagine places like Chicago could really connect well to these to this network and be able to use these devices well. So this is kind of how you can see some amazing progress happening with the Helium network. I mean, check this out. In the last 30 days, 76,000 hotspots added, 76,000 miners coming online. That's incredible. Current market price right about $25. And you can kind of see what's going on here. So Chicago is a really great example of this growth. I mean, look at that. That's incredible how many hotspots are there. So this can give you an idea of wherever you are, if you're in a good area to mine. I want to briefly show you some examples of how to tell if you are in a good spot to mine. So let's say you're in northern Chicago area. This would make a pretty ideal location. For example, let's say you had a home right in between all these other hexes. That would actually make a very good spot to mine. Places that don't make as good of a spot might be like in this hex here where there's already 5 others. Then what's going to happen, I'll briefly show you, is you're going to have some splitting happening. Now surprisingly, this isn't splitting very much here, but you can see the rewards is fine. It's pretty low in this area. I'm betting you can find one of these closer ones that are online making a bit more. And it really depends on a number of factors. As you've heard me talk about before, that's not bad. That's definitely the highest we've seen in this area. And let's look at what they have going on here. Each of these devices has a funny name that is unique to it. So this one has a pretty funny name. Wow, looks like using the stock antenna, and it's not mounted very high. Once again, you can watch my video in the description of how to get started and also 5 things you should know. But you want to have good antenna, you want to have good antenna height, and you want to have a good placement location like you're talking about. Those are some big things. But this person is making about, well, in the last 30 days they've made $75. But it looks like just from the stock antenna they're making that, and I recommend actually not using the stock antenna and getting, in most cases, getting a rack 5.8 dBi antenna. Once again, link in the description if you're interested in getting started. But you can see this decently placed hotspot, it's making $75 a month. That's something. It's cool. Let's check out some of the other ones. This one's solid, but you can see 5.52, that's not bad. You can see how primely located it is. I mean, look at all these hotspots around it, and I'm betting you, let's see what it's using. Okay, so it's using a different antenna. It's definitely not the stock antenna, and it's mounted 10 meters up. That's pretty good. So that is why we're seeing it connecting. It's a little surprising that it's not connected to more, frankly. But this is just an example of how to figure out if you're in an area where you could mine helium. All right, now let's go back here and talk about staking. Staking in Helium is honestly pretty limited because you have to run a validator, and that requires 10,000 HNT, which, do the math, that's right now $250,000 to run a validator situation. So you can pretty much stop there unless you have $250,000 that you're interested in putting into Helium. Now let's go back and look briefly at the third option here, which is use the network. And this has definitely come a long way, but you can see that they actually are aiming at companies that want to connect their devices to this. And you can see that there are some companies really coming online and using this, which is awesome. And you can see here, this is where you can actually reach out to Helium and say, hey, I have a device that I want to connect to the network. That's pretty awesome. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I answered all your questions. Of course, if I didn't, leave a comment below, or you can email me at thehntShow@gmail.com. Until next time, thanks for watching The Helium Show.
The Helium Show.